चक्षुर्मिलितं श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री Prabhupada. So we are talking into the eligibility for devotional and that service part 1 that we saw elaborately how the analysis of the Shraddha, that is the faith, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shraddha Shraddeshu Dridha Vishwasa Karanishchay Krishna Bhakti Karile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. We are not going to give up our karma, but where should be the confidence? Our confidence is geared on how much devotion do we have on Lord Shri Krishna. If we perform Krishna Bhakti that is pleasing to Lord Krishna, if it is favoring to him, then naturally he will be pleased. Sansiddhim haritoshanam. We saw in Shivan Bhagavatam, it says, Atapam Vidvijasreshta Varnashama Vibhagasha Swanutishtasya Dharmasya Sansiddhim haritoshanam. So, everybody is supposed to understand that their entire life is geared to serve the Supreme for his satisfaction, not your satisfaction. And that kind of faith which is going to be connected, that is Shraddha Shabde Sudrada Vishwasa Karanishchay Krishna Bhakti Karile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. All our activities will be fulfilled to the perfection because of that faith which is unshakable, and it is according to Lord Krishna. It is not according to me. What I perceive is bhakti. No, bhakti has its own standard. Yesterday we saw bhakti is the culmination of the Samvit potency and Ladini potency, Bhakti Devi, and her two sons are called Gyan and Vairagya. If Gyan is going to come as a concomitant factor, then you should understand that what that Gyan should entail. It should terminate into the confirmed faith, convicted faith in Lord Shri Krishna. That is the nishtha. So Parabhakti always starts after liberation from the bodily conception of life. You don't have to give up the body to give up the conception. No, you change. Conception is to conceive, and we know only material bodies can be conceived, but spiritual bodies are also there. You are part and parcel of Krishna and qualitatively one with him. So naturally, our inclination should be spiritual. And if that has to be explored only our Vedic system has explored it, went into detail, and that the Western countries and the Abrahamic religion do not know that. They don't talk of soul much. They don't have an idea what a soul looks like. If they know the soul in other animals, they would not be eating up the animals even. Anyway, now we are entering into another important part of it. Therefore, the semblance of faith, that is resemblance and semblance. What is the meaning of semblance? Dictionary meaning, anybody look into dictionary meaning of semblance?
Yes, Gurmaj. A noun. The outward appearance or apparent form of something, especially when the reality is different.
Right. That means it's an outward appearance only. It looks like, it may be hazy picture. We can figure out even when the shadow is there and or a hazy light is there, you may not be able to see the clear. That means the mist of ignorance is there to put up a hazy picture. So when we are under ignorance, naturally we may be performing bhakti, but we do not know the intricacies and the resulting aspect of bhakti. Krishna talks bhakti is the parabhakti that only starts after liberation. We saw that yesterday also. Brahmabhuta prasannatma no sochati na kankshati samat sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Labate param means gaining that supreme type of bhakti only after liberating from, and that is called Brahmabhuta Dasha. We are in Jiva Bhuta Dasha right now. The Jiva is existing in material composition. It is encaged. Jiva cannot be, touching it, but still is enveloped by the Maya. So, in that conditioned state, when we have opportunity to develop faith, because we might have some meritorious activities done in previous life that carries on, because whatever we rendered devotional service to Krishna never goes in vain. It is a permanent asset to develop a process to go back home, back to him. So semblance is almost resemblance, but a hazy resemblance called semblance. The characteristics of impure faith stand in vivid contrast to those of pure faith. Impure faith rests on distorted knowledge and material desires, whereas pure faith rests on knowledge of one's relationship with the Lord and the desire to please Him. Impure faith is first sprout from the creeper of mixed devotion, just as the pure faith is the first sprout from the creeper of pure devotion. And as explained at the end of the chapter 1, the seed that produces mixed creeper is called false knowledge. Some characteristics of impure faith, trust, taste, and the strength, may be resemble to those of pure faith, but because of impure faith lacks the exclusive dedication to and full dependence on Krishna, it does not lead to the ultimate goal of life. We'll be hanging around somewhere, and the meritorious credits that has been even credited to our spiritual account, we may not know, we may not realize, but by the transcendental stage, we may be given better opportunity in the next life. But the life continues. And all our activities in the life determines what kind of next life we are building in. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajanti ante kalervaram tam tam tamaiveti kaunte sadav tad bhava bhavita. Whatever desire you lock up at the time of quitting the body, naturally you will obtain the same, because Paramatma doesn't leave you alone. He will be always accompanying you and provide you another opportunity. But who wants to take the risk? It's a risky business. You never know what kind of remembrance you will have at the time of death. Unless you are a pious person and you have done meritorious activities towards devotional service, naturally remembrance of Krishna will be more, chances to available. So the creeper of the false knowledge, that is the root cause of having a semblance in the faith. But we cannot say it is confirmed faith, nishtha. Nishtha is the stage of liberation. It's a very confirmed faith, but verification should be there. Now, verification, we told you that it starts from Adav Shraddha. In the beginning, there is faith, whichever kind of faith. But Tato Sadhu Sangha, you will be promoted by the assembly of the devotees to make it more confirmed and strong by performing devotional service in the assembly of the devotees. Then what happens? Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya is one that will continue even if you do not have association of the devotees, but you have association of the holy name. That is Bhajana Kriya. Then Anartha Nivrutti. Anartha Nivrutti is a very important state. They have accumulated from time immemorial so many unwanted things that hamper our devotion. Attachment to even some kind of practice that doesn't have any meaning, no particular benefit, So devotional service creates eternal benefit, means param shreya. And therefore, our process in Krishna consciousness is to take shelter. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu sreya uttamam shastre parech nishnatam brahmani samupashrayam. One must be very confident in the Guru's words because he is expert in deliberation of the absolute truth. And by all the Shastra, Guru, Parampara, and Sadhu, that is, and Shastra, these are the three cardinal proofs that we are supported. If somebody upstart doesn't have any linkage with the Parampara, doesn't have anything. Have you seen in Vrindavan there is a called Premananda Swami? No? Don't watch. It's an upstart and people are mad. People are mad. Where he stays in an apartment, and that building, you can't put up a foot there. Every apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 crore. 2 bedroom, 2 crores. And people are crazy, and yet there's no space. And even besides, because there are so many apartments, but they are crazy. But we see there is no authenticity behind it. And many ISKCON devotees are allured to go into, and they will be easily giving up even Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they go for Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. They don't talk anything but Radhe. And what right do they have? Where is the understanding? In the first place, why did they leave? In ISKCON, some devotees are leaving. What to speak of the outsiders? They will come and join, and oh my God, thousands of devotees line up at 2 o'clock in the night. They go for parikrama, they say. And Maharaj is in his car because he's on a dialysis. He doesn't have kidney functions. But he lives as long as the dialysis is going on. And he said, no, he's a miracle man. He can survive without kidneys. That is the kind of blind faith. So anyway, we have seen this example several times. We would like to go further. Thus, while materially motivated persons may sometimes imitate the behavior of pure devotees, they can never imitate the purity of their hearts. The heart will expose them. By misfortune or lack of discrimination, conditioned souls receive seeds other than the bhakti bij. Even in yoga, Ashtanga yoga, when dharana means conception is wrong, your destination in yoga is wrong. Otherwise, why the yogis are allured by Astasiddhi? 8 types of perfections. Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prapti, Kama Vishrita, so many are there. And Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam. At the time of that yogi, whatever remembers, his intelligence is locked up in that bhav, then he will go to another planet also. He thinks he wants to go to Chandralok. Easy. He doesn't need Sputnik. Like that. So, after all, the subtle body is going to go. Gross body will not go. There he will have another body which may be conducive within that atmosphere of the Chandra. Why scientists are so eager to excavate the water and the south pole of Chandra? And India is, we found it. But what are you going to find? Material science has limitations. There will be living entities. It may not be like you, and you will not have brain to understand them either. So, by misfortune of lack of determination, the conditioned souls receive the seeds other than Bhakti Bij. By even greater misfortune or greater oversight, they receive the seed of pure devotion and then allow its creeper to become stunted by non-devotional weeds. They allow the weeds to grow. You are growing tulsi plant. If there is something else, jungle comes up nearby, you will pluck and throw them out. Therefore, it is very essential that these are the weeds even in the path of devotional service. And you have to pluck and throw them out. That is called anartha nivrutti. To become free from unwanted things that will eat up your sap of the devotional life. It won't allow your creeper to grow. The result of such neglect is impure faith, and impure faith leads to a tainted perspective of the goal of life. Many devotees are having trouble because of impure faith. You may say, how can faith can be impure? Because it depends upon your conception. In summary, faith connected to bhakti is of 2 types: pure or transcendental faith, that is called Shraddha, and semblance of such faith, that Shraddha Abhas. Abhas. Abhas means it's a shadow presentation. If there is a dim light, you can't see a face of the person, and you do not know who will be coming. But you can see the body moving by dim light. Then you can understand he is a man or an animal, like that. So abhas, namabhas, even chanting of the holy name, if it is distracted by, say, material thoughts or some kind of thing that is distracting, there is three things are given. Hriday Darvalyam, Asatrushna, and Aparad. Three things. They distort our faith. Hriday Darvalyam, the weakness of the heart, and Asatrushna. Asat means impermanent, and Trishna means hankering. Hankering for material things which are impermanent. There's nothing permanent in material world because it has been created, sustained for some time, and then dissolved. Right? So then we see aparad, gross negligence and committing offenses. There are 10 namaparadas, but amongst them the Vaishnava aparada is the foremost dangerous. And the third one is seva aparadas. There are 32 described, but at the same time some other additions are there, so it takes to 52. Then dhamma aparadas. You commit sinful activity in the holy dham. So all these different kinds of aparadas are gross manifestation of not only misunderstanding, but ignorance and anarthas. They compile into aparadas. This is a systematic development. First, the thought comes in your mind, then it will come in your words, and then it will come in the action. This is the way a demigod is distinguished between with the demons. A demon-like desire is appearing. Then it comes out through the words, but the actions are more than words. So actually demons act in such a way because they have demoniac thoughts. So like that. Lord Nrsimhadev takes care of it. Okay? There's a beautiful prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Nrsimhaya, Namastejas Tejase Avirbhav, Vajranaka, Vajradranasha, Karmasha, and Randa, Tamagrasa, Grasa, Om Swaha, Abhayam, Atmani Bhushtam. So, the first sloka and Nrsimha Kavach. You know that? My humble obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, who has nails and teeth like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in the material world, so that we may become fearless in struggle for existence. Those who are fearful, then we can see what is their situation. But those who become fearless, it becomes a very, very good advancement and faith in Nrsimhadev. So this is how the faith has been of two types. In the summary, faith is connected to bhakti is of two types, pure, that is transcendental Shraddha, and semblance of the faith, it is Shraddha Abhas. The seed of creeper of the semblance of devotion, that is Abhas Bhakti Lata Bij. Abhas Bhakti Lata Bij. Even the seed of devotion is not very distinguishable. There are other seeds also besides it. You never know which grows fast. Sometimes weeds grow faster than the tulsi plant. They grow faster. So, by even greater misfortune or the greater oversight, they receive the seed of pure devotion and then allow its creeper to become stunted by non-devotional weeds. The result of such neglect is impure faith, and impure faith leads to a tainted perspective of the goal of life. Sometimes we call it is a mixed bhakta. It's not a pure devotee. It's a mixed up person, misguided. They may not even accept spiritual master. They think we don't need. Of course, Brijvasis, those who are born in the land of, we assume that whoever they may be, but we can't offend them. That is called Dhamma Parada otherwise. So we become very careful not to conduct any such. They may be doing any nonsense, but we can't blame them. I gave the example before of Thakur Das Baba. He's from my hometown. When I was born in 1944, after 3 months or a month only, the mother takes the child to her husband's place, and we had to cross a river. And the river was dry, but it was filled with big, big rocks. So in the bus, they say, you all get down, walk through the bed of the river, and go to other side, the bus will come. So Thakur Das, he was my father's student, and he helped my mother to carry me, cross the river. So my mother tells that. And that Thakur Das Baba, left Vyara, my hometown, and when I was hardly 7 or 8 years old, he left. He was friend of Pradyumna Bhai and so many other, Prabodh Bhai and the Vyaravasis. And they used to come to Govardhan because ultimately he previously went to Vinoba Bhave in Vardha, and in his ashram, he could not get. So because Vinoba Bhave wrote Bhagavad Gita on an impersonal aspect. Gandhi, and he was not enchanted. So ultimately, he came to Govardhan, and he got initiated by Vaishnava Swami. He introduced me, when I was in Bharatpur, he introduced me. Then he's my spiritual master, and but I took initiation in ISKCON, so he would not pressurize me, but say, what can I do for you? He was saving more than 600 cows from going to slaughterhouse because the bordering line is with Haryana, near Govardhan, Mewat Kshetra. Mewat is Muslim, right? Like that. And I said, in my ashram, I need 4 cows. So Thakur Das Baba says, oh yeah, you come on the Thursday, there is a market of the animals, and I will give you. I cannot give you from my saved cows because they are generally emaciated, mistreated, and they may not be giving milk even. Because I had 75 children, so they needed milk in the ashram. Orphanage, Bharatpur orphanage. So I went on Thursday, and he sent his men. We selected, they selected for us 4 cows with the young one, and they took it to Bharatpur. But I was a little bit disturbed by seeing something. Some farmers I didn't know whether they were Muslims or not, but they were cooking meat in the same. I said, in Govardhan? How is it possible? Then I asked Thakur Das Baba, this is really disturbing. He said, Bhagirath, he was calling me only Bhagirath. It is not their fault. We come from outside and we bring pollution in Vrindavan. That is Dham Aparad. Why are we? So they are Muslims, and Muslims are also Brajavasis. You can't blame them. They learned all these things from the outsiders. So, what do we have to do? Become indifferent. Because so many oppositions that we will come across, and we have to keep our mind steady in bhakti, then we have to overlook it. Those who are having their adrenaline, jump up, they may take some actions, Yeah, there were systematic cow slaughter. Even our Vrindavan Gaushala, we lost 4 cows. They will come with AK-46 and lots of animals on the road they can pick up. So some devotees also made a group of Gauraksha, and they also acquired shotguns. So then it subsided because there was opposition. But anyway, this is the situation that Kali is entering. But how the faith on the Supreme Absolute Truth must be maintained, that is a lesson for a devotee to learn to become advanced. This is a fact, and I cannot forget that incident. Of course, same Muslims came to kill Baba, Thakurdas Baba. They hurt him so much that he lost so much blood and he was unconscious, and they took him to Mathura in the hospital. There was a Christian hospital, and he was treated there. When he came to his senses, he said, "Where am I?" He said, "You are in Mathura, people attacked you." "No, take me back to Govardhan." Huh? Whatever treatment is available in Govardhan, I'll be happy to accept it. So he was kept in nursing home in Govardhan. And then he started his activities back. Within, I think, 4 years or 5 years span, then he left his body. They made a very nice samadhi for him at Chandra Sarovar, which is 1 kilometer from Govardhan on Sonk Road. So anyway, I visited him several times, and they will be always absorbed in thought of Radharani. Of course, I would not criticize anybody who is coming from whichever, lineage, but there are many who have been duped. But we have to be very picky because that is their devotional service by intuition as well as our previous meritorious activity. And we can see he's more pure than me. You follow my point? So we have to go through the faith, which is semblance, means we have to keep on vigil by the scientific process of uprooting the unwanted things in our life. So anartha nivritti will confirm our faith. If we are able to remove all the weeds, then remain secure. That is the nishtha. The faith will become confirmed, verifiable. In Christianity, there is no verifiability in the faith. In Islam, there is no verifiability. No verifiability of the faith is. They cannot develop in this way. But whatever it is, so once sown in the heart or once accepted by the aspirant, this seed sprout into the semblance of faith, that is Shraddha Abhas, which then impels its recipient to practice the semblance of devotion, that is Bhakti Abhas, Abhasi Bhakti. It's not pure devotion service. This has been said in Jaiva Dharma by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, chapter 25th and page 385, Bhakti Abhas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the Abhas in the I think the fourth verse of the Upadeshamritam of Rupa Goswami. The third one is Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpa Niyamagraha Janasangasya Laulyam Cha Shadvir Bhakti Vinashyati. Bhakti can be destroyed by these six things. Atyahar means over accumulating or overeating. Overeating, or that is Atyahar. Prayasascha, too much endeavor. Not accepting the things that come by easy and naturally, instead of going ahead with too much endeavor, too much investment, and still it becomes a kind of a gambling situation. It does not yield. So overacting, what we call. Then prajalpa, talking unwanted things, talking gramya katha, or it's called prajalpa. We can see and discern that how can we save ourselves from the news. We are interested to know what is going on in the world because we are traveling. I have to see how many airlines have been withdrawn. They are not flying at all. Air India has stopped flying. Many other airlines stopped flying. So anyway, the point is that is prajalpa, one that is not helping you to foster your devotion is prajalpa, useless talks. Then, of course, when you are engaged in what we call arthakam, that are the two purusharthas, middle purusharthas, but that will be hampering for your moksha too. If we are too much engrossed in arthakam, Krishna has designed the retirement age. It is by nature. Nature, but whose nature? Krishna's nature. So we should retire, but at the same time, we should be proactive towards confirming our faith and work it out within this lifetime. Otherwise, we will be missing a great opportunity. Because the human birth is not available all the time. It is, by the grace in a pious family, there may be chances to come back again. But those who have no background of, the pious nature or the mode of goodness prevailing in their home, they are victimized by the mode of passion and ignorance. Their careers are even leading them to destructions. So anyway, this is the inference that we take, and the modes are going to affect anyway. If you are grown up in mode of goodness, that is a good credit. If somebody is grown up in mode of passion, And they may be very ambitious. They will be pulling each other's leg, and within the family there is disruption because you are interfering in my progress and this and that, like that. So, and then the hellish condition will be those who are in mode of ignorance, by hook or crook. They want to get it done. No. So anyway, at this point, the reader may question the relevance of studying the semblance of the faith, and also known as the indirect path of devotion. Indirect path of semblance means indirect. You may end up worshipping demigods. You may end up, because that is indirect. Avidhipurvakam, not vidhipurvakam, avidhipurvakam. Yachapyanya devata yajante sruddhayanvita te api mameva paryajante avidhipurvakam. Indirect worship. Because in Mahabharata they say, akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskram keshavam prati gacchati. After all, it will all go to Keshav. But why don't you go directly to Keshav? Because he asked you. That is direct service. Yanti devrata devan. Pitrun yanti pitruta. Bhutani bhutejyan. Matlab madhyajino bhimam. Krishna is distinguishing himself completely from all others. They are the product of his creation. But he is the creator. Who do you suppose to worship? The creator or creation? That's even Christians criticize Hindus. The Hindus are worshipping creation, not the creator. You got it? So this is how material nature is proliferating everywhere. That is called Maya. So Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadhi. Mayavadis are Krishna Aparadhis. So, when Srila Prabhupada undoubtedly gave ISKCON's members pure faith, and yet many join with different inclinations. But understanding the indirect path is relevant because even though members of ISKCON receive the seed of pure devotion, they will need to carefully examine whether or not they have fully accepted it. Even though they get pure devotion because we want to, follow the parampara and purity of Srila Prabhupada, we do. But at the same time, the receiver may be patra, apatra. So minimum qualification is required, but that is not. Minimum qualification is what? 16 rounds and 404 regulative principles. Okay, we have to build a faith on that. But even though, if they cannot confirm their faith into Nishtha by the process, then it's useless. They will not progress. Many are like that. So, anyway, but understanding the indirect path is relevant because even though members of ISKCON receive the seed of pure devotion, they still need to carefully examine whether or not they have fully accepted it, properly cultivated it, and carefully protected it from the influence of unwanted creepers. That is the job devotees have to do. They have been receiving, now they have to grow. If for some reason devotees stray from the path of pure faith and pure devotion, they must be able to recognize it, deviation by their symptoms, and rectify them. And they are given opportunity to do so. But if they are some important post holders or this or that, then they have to resign from that and straighten up your devotion first and then come back. They are not thrown out. What are the possible causes of distraction from the path of pure faith? Srila Prabhupada mentions the following: not properly accepting the seed or the spiritual master's instructions, not watering the seed properly, and not uprooting unwanted creepers and therefore succumbing to their influence. This number 9 is the purpose of to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 155th to 59. 4 verses are there. All right. His divine grace makes clear that devotees must carefully accept the seed of pure devotion. As I had mentioned, as already mentioned, he defines the Bhakti Lata Bij as the instructions that gives the method, rules, and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service. If devotees do not take the spiritual master instruction as they are given, if instead they succumb to the bejas of or the bias of the personal motivation, they cannot properly water the seed. As a result, the creeper of devotion will not sprout. Srila Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada knows this. He writes, one who has not properly heard from the spiritual master or who does not follow the regulative principles is not fit for chanting, that is kirtan. And that is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 152 verse in the purport. So, in short, improper hearing results in impotent chanting, and the effect of which is a heart devoid of pure devotion. Impotent, potency does not come. Potency is in the holy name, but is not chanted the way the instructions are, then, many people who know the mantra, but they want to chant in the mind. Prabhupada never said chant in mind. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. You hear from the spiritual master and then repeat. Then you will be able to remember. So, instructions are repeated. So, chant according to that. Then you will be able to remember. Prabhupada gives guaranteed. Simply chanting will take you back home, back to Godhead, if you do perfectly. That you will be able to remember. So, in short, improper hearing results in impotent chanting, the effect of which the heart is devoid of pure devotion. Moreover, if while watering the seed of devotional service, the devotees engage in unbecoming behavior, they may uproot the very creeper they are trying to cultivate. Srila Prabhupada does not mince the word when spelling out the disastrous consequences of such unseemly conduct. Giving up the regulative principles and living according to one's own whims is compared to the mad elephant, which by force uproots the bhakti lata and breaks into pieces. Such an offense is especially created when one disobeys the instructions of the spiritual master. As soon as one is deviated from the spiritual master's instructions, the uprooting of the bhakti lata begins, and gradually all the leaves dry up. This is also said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 156th verse purport. So, one has to be very careful and take tender care of bhakti lata. Very, very aware that should not be disturbed. When the devotees hear topics unrelated or offensive to pure devotion, unwanted creepers grow alongside with the bhakti lata. Lord Chaitanya emphatically warns his followers about the creepers of worldly desires and liberation, which embrace and strangle the bhakti lata. The varieties of such fearsome creepers are unlimited. Therefore, devotees must be painstakingly attentive to recognize them. This is also said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 158th verse. Say everything is given, but now it is compiled in very systematic way to produce this particular Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. It is very valuable compilation. Nobody has attempted this, but Shivram Maharaj really is very introspective person. Uh, To assist us in identifying the unwanted creepers, Lord Chaitanya clarifies them into broad categories: behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection, diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, striving to be adored, and striving for mundane popularity. This is also discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 159th verse. Wow. Srila Prabhupada comments, all these obstructions have been described in the verse as unwanted creepers. They simply present obstacles for the real creeper of Bhakti Lata. When one should be very careful to avoid all these unwanted things. Sometimes these unwanted creepers look exactly like Bhakti creeper. They appear to be of the same size and same species when they are packed together with Bhakti creeper. But in spite of this, the creepers are called Upashakha, unwanted. Shakha, Upashakha. This is also spoken in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 159th verse, purport. The same purport is there. If devotees do not pay strict attention, and whatever their hearing and chanting will go to the weeds instead to the devotional creeper. In this regard, to stress the importance of avoiding offenses and to help us further identify unwanted creepers, Srila Prabhupada includes Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary on the above verse, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 159th verse. In this purport, the next verse, he states that if one hears and chants without trying to give up offenses, one becomes materially attached to sense gratification. One may also desire freedom from the material bondage like the Mayavadis, but one may become attached to yoga siddhis and desire wonderful yogic powers. If one attached to wonderful material activities, one is called siddhilobhi, desirous to have siddhis, greedy for material perfection. One may also be victimized by diplomatic and crooked behavior, or one may associate with women for illicit sex. One may take a show of devotional service like Prakrita Sahajiyas. Prakrita Sahajiyas. One may try to support his philosophy by joining some caste or identifying himself with a certain dynasty, claiming a monopoly of spiritual advancement. There are people who are becoming self-made gurus, and they find out such isolated places where only they can preach and nobody else. So even though they are not mature, they have other motivations, profit, adoration, and distinctions. These are the three subtle desires, and they will, in the name of Srila Prabhupada, they will do anything. So we need to be very careful. I received a call from one of my colleagues about a complaint of one of my devotees, that he's going parallel without authority. They are conducting two Rath Yatras. One he is arranging, that is the day after the Vidisha authorized temple is doing. So, Maharaj, that can be confusion. People are, saying, but something must have happened, but people are not tolerant. They do not have faith. Rather, they go offshoot and do a counter offense by creating a parallel thing. We have what we call in our Albany, it is also an offense, but if we are doing in the conjunction with the advice of the other leaders, then it will be always fruitful. And we can see still the one we started, we put up so much effort, but now it becomes an ethnic center, then it will be not congenial. They will not progress. So it is better what you have been doing. The whole society is after you, then everything will be okay. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj is explaining very, very straightforwardly. Thus, with the support of family tradition, one may become a pseudo guru or so-called spiritual master. One may become attached to the four sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Or one may consider a Vaishnava to belong to a mundane caste or creed. One may think this is a Hindu Vaishnava and that is a European Vaishnava. Vaishnava, a European, are not allowed to enter the temples. Jagannath Puri, Jagannath Puri, they don't allow our devotees from the West to have darshan even. Oh yeah. That's Pseudo Vaishnava. But anyway, so in other words, one may consider Vaishnavas in terms of birth, taking one a Brahman Vaishnava, other a Sudra Vaishnava, or another Malecha Vaishnava, and so on. One may also try to carry out a professional business by means of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or reading Srimad Bhagavatam for money. Katha, Ayojan. One may try to increase his monetary strength by illegal means. Also, one may become a cheap Vaishnava by trying to chant in a secluded place for material adoration, or one may desire mundane reputation by making compromises with non-devotees concerning one's philosophy or spiritual life, or one may become a supporter of a hereditary caste system. All these are pitfalls for personal sense gratification. Just to cheat some innocent people, one makes a show of advanced spiritual life and becomes known as a sadhu, mahatma, or religious person. All this means that the so-called devotee has become victimized by these unwanted creepers, and that the real creeper, the Bhakti Lata, has been stunted. This is the purport of Srila Prabhupada quoting Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. 19th chapter, 160th verse. So I would like to stop here. Haribol, respond quickly.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Asitaraja Prabhu has put a few comments. I don't know which ones he wants to read out. Asitaraja Prabhu, would you like to explain what you want to tell everybody? Because there's a lot of comments. A lot of them are just reflecting what you've said.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my obeisances. I think through this, Shivram Maharaj beautifully explained the characteristics of the pure faith. And going back to the previous chapter, trying to understand what is Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana, my understanding is that Swarupa Lakshana of a pure faith are complete dedication and dependence on Krishna. These are the primary qualities of a pure faith. And the Tatastha Lakshana, or the secondary characteristics of the pure faith, are faith in the scripture, taste in devotion, and the increasing strength. So this was kind
of... they are the products of austerity pertaining to that particular status of a devotee. There are 26 qualities of devotee, but actually most of them are Tatastha Lakshana, that even Mayavadi can also get it. Only one Lakshana that distinguishes a devotee is that surrender to Krishna. Surrendering process is the only distinguishing factor between a Mayavadi and Vaishnava. So right now, what we call is generally termed as Bhaktyabhas. And people should understand, if they want to strengthen their devotion and faith, confirm simply Krishna Bhakti karile sarva karma krita hoy, then they have to introspect themselves and come up to the standard to get the higher taste. Anything else?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Vidyalalasa Mataji.
Vidyalalasa.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, Dandavat Pranam.
Haribol.
Gurudev, my question was about endeavors, Atya Prayasasya. So,
Atyahar.
No, endeavors, extra endeavors, over endeavors. My question was about that one. So when we are trying to we're trying to increase our devotional practice, intensify our bhajan. So does that also count in over endeavors?
If it is not increasing your intensity of faith, then because there are many distracting situations arise in our material life, and if they keep on continuing, then the desired progress is not there. So weakness is there. Weakness is in that degree called attachment to the matter.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Remember, I told you that you draw a graph. Where is our progress versus the method? On the x-axis, you put Adav Shraddha Tato Sadhu Sangha Navdha Bhakti, 9 stages. But at the same time, on the y-axis, you put the processes. There are 9 processes. Whichever is more predominant, you can say at which stage are you. I also told that most of us are struggling in anartha nivritti.
Yes.
That does not allow us to get liberated even. Anarthas are so much, even subtle anarthas are there. But regardless, even there may be a residual anartha in the heart, but the glimpse of liberation will be there. So it will give you confirmation. The verification of your faith is in nishtha. Then pure devotional service will start without any hampering. Your bhakti lata will grow fast.
Please bless us, Gurudev, that all of us, our bhakti lata may grow.
I desire for all my desires and the disciples.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol.
Thank you. Haribol.
A question from Mahashwala Gopi Devi Dasi. She says it's difficult to study Srila Prabhupada's books on a daily basis because it takes a lot of time. And she
So what?
She was speaking to
It's
one.
only life you have to study.
She was speaking to a friend of hers who's a Prabhupada disciple, who said Srila Prabhupada told her to do book distribution daily. So she's been chanting and doing book distribution and not reading. And then she
Prabhupada said, you
try
should know what is the matter written in the book. Then you can distribute it very confidently.
Yes, he also comments on
The
that.
things that are helping us to realize, then we give that realization by our personal example to the prospective readers.
Yes. She wants you to choose one, which is best, reading or distributing.
Read as much as you can and distribute. Yeah, most of us are distributing only Bhagavad Gita as the most important. Srimad Bhagavatam is there, but the whole set will be there. Then teachings of Queen Kunti, teachings of Kapila Dev. There are the Lord Chaitanya's teachings. There are some Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But others are very small books. Anybody can finish one book a day. But we have to plan our life like that.
Sita Prabhu comments that by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we will naturally get the impetus to distribute the books.
Definitely. Prabhupada said, these books are for my disciples. First, then distribute and benefit others.
I'm not very active in book distribution. I distribute.
I'm not reading just to replace Srila Prabhupada's books, Shivaram Maharaj's books. I'm not ready to replace Srila Prabhupada's books. Neither he says that.
Shivaram is quoting so much from Srila Prabhupada. He's not trying to.
Yeah, but he's condensing for us for easy understanding with reference to the context.
Yes.
No talk in the air. It's a very concrete talks.
Yeah, it's very helpful as well. I like these. It's very helpful for us to concentrate on evaluating our own progress, because otherwise it gets very easy just to keep on going and forgetting to evaluate. Anyone else have any comments? Okay. Ujjwala Rasagya has your hand up. And Sita
Yeah.
Raja.
Hare Krishna, Gurudeva. Pranam, Sri Gurudev. Gurudev, thank you, Gurudev. Thank you for the katha. My question is, Gurudev, Antakale ch mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. What can one do to come to this stage of smaran and stay?
Do you think a second before we leave the body, what kind of, odds do we have?
Yeah.
What determines the odds? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dradavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nyatyayukta upasate. In our upasana, chanting is there, performing devotional service is there, reading books are there, helping each other is there. So many activities are there. Everything is done in Krishna consciousness. That is satatam kirtayanto. Then
Yes.
chances of remembering Lord at the time of death will be possible.
Yes, Gurudev. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Gurudev. Satatam kirtayanto mam.
And
Thank you, Gurudev.
Sita Raja Prabhu would like to comment again.
Right.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. So going through the reading today, we can kind of understand, there's so much detailed explanation of pure and impure faith and the creepers and abhasa, that Premananda Swami is the product of impure faith that is based on distorted knowledge. So we can now understand that why, he's in this situation.
Yes. On the other behalf, I was watching a video of one Gaudiya, Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Radha Raman Goswami was speaking about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who just left the body in the month of May. There was a small clipping of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. His mouth is already wide open. At the last time, one who is passing the soul, but he was waving the hand as if he's doing the chamar and all this very popular. So he was commenting what Krishna consciousness he must have developed, at the time of quitting the body. Antakale cha mameva smaranukta. The smaran will be there, then naturally the waving of the arti and the waving of chamar and everything can be. And his mouth is up. You may not be able to speak a word, but smaran is important. Kirtan at the time of death, you are not going to go away with kirtan. I have seen one Mataji of Radhanath Maharaj's disciple, and she had cancer, and everybody got together and they were chanting in front of her, and she was welcoming everybody at the last moment. Please, thank you very much, like that. Very, very, supportive. And she died in a very peaceful way. Yeah. Even Shivaradhya's wife, Renuka, she was on a ventilator and they wanted to remove, means she will be gone. So we were chanting. I was watching her pulse, and she passed away in very peaceful situation. Even my own father, he left his body in my hands, and I was chanting in his ear, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I told him, are you hearing? He says, yes, Hare Krishna. For 10 minutes, within 10 minutes, and he left his body in my hands. So this is what is smarana. You chant and the dying patient will remember, can hear. They say hearing process continues, even the body becomes dysfunctional. The brain still works. Some of the part of the brains are still working. They may not be able to give a motor response, a reflex action, no. But rest assured, Krishna is kind to give you a little span of remembering for him. So certainly we'll be able to understand that we are given ample chances to remember at the time of death. The devotees will also come to the aid at the last moment, just to make us remind of Lord Shri Krishna. So many examples will be there. My assistant Yogeshwar, he was a sannyas candidate. I brought him from Bharatpur, and he passed away just about a month and a half back. I was not there, but they told me, Sureshwar told me, he practically took Brajaraj on his bone and smeared all over his body and laid down to pass in Vrajadham. Even though he may not have done so many outstanding services or so. I saw him on the video only one time giving class. He was our sannyas candidate. Of course, yoga teacher. But anyway, he smeared himself with a Vrajaraj and then laid his body silent. This may be the example of Dham protects a devotee. Dham reminds us, Lord Krishna, our chances of remembering increases in the Dham. Anything else?
Comment. I think that's Jayanti. The deity of Sri Ranganath told Ramanujacharya that if my devotee doesn't remember me at the time of death, but I will remember my dear devotees.
So, Ranganath is none other than Vishnu. He can also have the transcendental potency to tell the devotee. The transcendental message will be there. But Lord Shri Krishna gave his verbal testimony for the entire world to remember him. Anything else?
Thank you very much, Gurmaj. We hope that we can get to the stage of remembering Krishna at the time of death also.
Yeah, please become serious
Yes,
and
Gurmaj.
remember Krishna by hook or crook. Yena tena prakarena mana Krishnam niveshayet. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Very much. Hare Krishna.